You did allude to Extreme Noise,
Uh-huh.
a record store that you started.
Yeah,
up
I was involved in the beginning but
and
then Triple Rock kind of took me away from it or whatever, but it's still going. It's
and
cool.
then the Triple Rock.
Yeah.
Extreme Noise is still going strong. Is it
Mhm.
still everything's good? You want to?
Yeah.
It's on Lake Street. What in Grand?
Yeah. Yeah. But I have not been involved there in a long time.
What was behind you wanting to do that? I mean, was it just?
It was kind of like my friend Bill, who was in that band Bloodline that I talked about. Like, he was one of the people that was sort of involved in starting it up, and he was like, "Hey, we need more people. Do you want to get involved in this?" So I put in a little bit of money, and I was like an owner at the beginning or whatever, and I just helped. Everyone was basically a volunteer, but a few of us had put in cash, so we were technically owners or whatever. So, and yeah, it was a cool thing. It's still a cool thing.
How did the Triple Rock thing happen? I mean,
It was
at
my
what
wife's
point?
idea, Gretchen. She was like, we at the time, like we played a lot of basement shows and stuff, but we'd all turned 21, and we didn't really have any place in Minneapolis to hang out that we felt was like, it's like the CC Club was kind of like the older generation's like place, and we just didn't feel like we had a bar that was kind of for our thing and for our kind of generation, and we were pretty young, and we were dumb enough to think that we could do it, and I don't know, we just did it. I still don't really know exactly how we did it. We just did it.
Was Blondie's up for sale at the time?
Yeah, Blondie's came up for sale. We looked for about 2 years though.
Okay, so you knew you wanted to do it, and you were trying.
Yeah, I mean, we worked on it really, really hard or whatever, and really actively or whatever, and just like scratched together enough loan money from different sources and things like that to where we could.
Did you know right away you wanted to make it a venue, or were you just at first?
Yeah, the goal was to be a venue right from the start. It was supposed to be live music and food and full liquor, but we couldn't find a place that we could do all three until we found Blondie's, and then the idea was that the live music would just have to come later, because we knew there was a chunk of land that we were getting with the property, so we figured at some point, if it goes well, we'd be able to build on, which we did, and that's what for the last 5 years it really changed the place. So.
What were your kind of primary aesthetic, like kind of ideals for the venue space there? As far as, I mean, were you involved with designing it, or did you have people come in and do it?
We had our friend Scott Muehlner was the architect. He was in an old Minneapolis hardcore band called Blind Approach, but he was the architect on it, and we just, I don't know, like I had this, I thought it would be cool if the stage was like if the back part was sort of like the entry, if you had a lower part, but then in retrospect it doesn't really work that well because the stage isn't very high, so it kind of, I don't know. I mean, believe me, like that was one of the biggest things I've ever gone through, was trying to figure out getting that thing built and going through the whole process. And I mean, there's so many elements to it, and then I'm really glad that we got it done. But man, there's so many things I go back now, and I'm just like, oh, what were we thinking? Like why didn't we do it this way or that way? But you just, that's luxury you don't have when you're actually doing it.
Are there any other plans involving it now? I mean,
right now it kind of just is what it's going to be. We can't. We can't really expand anything, because of parking codes and regulations. There's nothing really else we can do with it. We can just constantly try and make it better and keep it from being destroyed and trying to, But I mean, for at least the physical structure and everything, there's nothing else we can really do. It's kind of what it is.
Do you have a favorite memory of as a venue owner back over the years, either playing there or seeing something there, or just an experience?
Well, the first D4 show was fun. I think we played with the Epoxies, and we played 3 songs, something like that. And Patty was so drunk that we just could not play it. We literally just fell apart into 3 songs, and it was it was crowded. We'd only been open for like a week or two with the club, and I was sort of thinking about it. I'm like, wow, like I own this place. I was just like, all right, fuck it, we're done. $1 buds for the rest of the night. And we just walked off stage, and I was like, that's cool to just be like, we're not going to play any more music for you, but I'll put a beer on special. That's good enough for you people. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your night. We're done. That was kind of fun. But it's been hard to, when the played there, I was really bummed. Like they wanted 4 bottles of Moet and Chandon, which you and I actually talked about earlier. But it was really expensive champagne. It was like $90 a bottle, and they like insisted on their rider. And a lot of times on people's riders, there's kind of stupid stuff that you kind of realize like isn't a big deal, but they actually, I mean, it became a thing. Like literally became like we won't fucking play.
You didn't have it. They showed up.
Well,
and like,
it was like that day we're like, do you seriously need it? Like, because we're gonna have to go someplace and buy it. It's gonna cost more than your entire budget times like 3 just for these items, and it wasn't budgeted in. They're like, deal breaker, won't play, don't get it. And it's like, they're literally just like packing up cases of this, you know, expensive champagne and shipping them back to England. You know what I mean? Like just for their collections or whatever. I mean, it was really, I mean, that was kind of a disheartening. I mean, I love that band, and I love that they played there, and I love watching it. But, you know, just kind of dealing. And it wasn't them; it was just their fucking tour manager or whatever. And, you know, I don't know if those guys knew or cared or whatever. You know what I mean? You don't really know, but that was sort of disheartening, like dealing with that. So that was kind of the downside, I guess. Not a favorite memory, but a, you know, sort of a sobering memory.
Well, tonight.